Hello everyone, welcome tickheads to another episode of TMC. In today's episode we're going to talk about something quite friendly, quite child friendly. Or is it? It is. It is cartoon watches and everything related to adding animated characters to the dial of a watch. So before we start on the episode, Elliot, quick wristwatch check. What do you wear?
Well, I thought cartoon. It's not cartoon, but it's the closest I could get to it. And it's this custom watch I got made by Coney. And you can see it. There's a DA-42 aircraft on the outside and a lightning strike in the middle. It's a bit of a story of me flying around, learning how to fly a plane.
Wasn't Coney a dictator in Uganda?
Right, so... Do you want to run the episode, right? Alright, really cool watch. He does custom box, custom airing. It's pretty amazing. Great work. Do check him out online.
His work is
Coney watches. It's really, really cool.
Jason, what are you wearing?
Well, with one episode exception, I've worn a different hat and a different watch for each episode. Now, this hat has a special meaning because I row on an app called EXR, and you have to get to level 27, which is, several, probably 100,000 meters before you can actually get a watch on your avatar. So finally, I have street cred. I can be seen on the water with my watch wearing on
digital world.
Hence the digital world. And today, unfortunately, I don't have a cartoon watch. So that means a little bit of shopping over the festive period. But I do have this fabulous looking watch, which is the Mora 310C Sana from Marlowe Watch Company. Absolutely love this watch. If you want to look into the real depth of the inside of it, they did a YouTube episode, I think, on the road to Morat, where they showed you how they designed it and the steps they used to make it, and so forth. And again, another very reasonable watch underground, and it's got a helium escape valve. Of course, it's called the Morat 310 because it goes down to 310. It's their professional dive watch, and it even has a hacking seconds, which is hacking seconds means where you can just stop the seconds to get a real precise moment as you're really setting the time. So a pretty phenomenal dope watch from those great people up in Scotland. Marlowe.
Yes. I'm being distracted by the dog. Poochie will.
Pooch. It's a good distraction. What am I wearing? I have somewhat of a character watch. It's not a famous character, but it is the personification of someone that just wants to have a chill day at the pool. And it is, of course, the Mr. Jones pool watch. This is iconic. I don't think I need to say too much about it. But what I will say a lot about is about a certain special character that kickstarted all of the cartoon watches. Can anyone guess what that character is?
Donald Duck.
Yes, it's Mickey.
Mickey Moose.
Mickey Moose.
Mickey the Moose.
Mickey Moosey.
There's a moose loose about this hoose.
It's what?
It's Mikey Moose.
Mikey Moose.
Mikey Moose.
Michel Mouse. Michel Merci.
Michel Lassoy.
Well, funny you say that because actually, now I think there's a fantastic video that I will pop right here on the screen from a lovely gentleman that actually goes through the history specifically of the Mikey Moose character. And it is in depth, it is great research. So everything I'm doing is basically repeating what he's been saying, but just slightly more condensed. So go.
We're
check
very
it out.
original.
It's a small world.
With a small
Watches.
Movement.
So, the Walt Disney Brothers, actually they started work with Oswald. Oswald was another character. I will skip all of the political items that came behind, but basically they had to leave Oswald and start Mickey Mouse. Now, Mickey Mouse is basically a similar character. They were both rodent types, both happy-go-lucky characters that were always trying to help.
I don't know. He's called rodent.
Friendly rodents.
Mickey Mouse is...
I know, but... Oh yeah, it's your famous rodent. You say that.
Well, this is the cartoon episode.
Why are you going to Disneyland?
Trouble. Sorry, I'm wiping off the tears. Walt Disney were in a lot of trouble financially. They were basically lost the rights to using Oswald, so they used Mickey Mouse. Well, what happened was actually very interesting from a business point of view. So there was this famous salesman called Kay. His full name was Herman Kamen, and he wasn't the originator of this, but he really propelled this idea of licensing. And so what he did is he basically approached the Walt Disney Company when they were struggling financially and said, listen, what I want to offer is a licensing fee. I will give you this amount of money, and I want to be able to use your characters on items, and those items have to be of quality and related to the character itself, and you will get 50% or something like this as a royalty fee. At the time, the Disney Corporation was like, yes, we need this, we need to make some money. And that was actually around the time that Steamboat Willie, which is the first animated picture with sound coordinated with it. So back in the day, you'd have black and white movies, but the sound was separated. And finally, in that time, they were able to sell the movie as the first animated movie with the sound that coordinates with it. Long story short, what Kamen then did is he contacted Ingersoll. Now, Ingersoll, very complicated. There was the Waterbury Watch Company that used to sell watches to Ingersoll. Ingersoll were actually mail order only, and then Ingersoll went into bankruptcy. Waterbury Watch Company bought Ingersoll, and then they became another name, which was confusingly US Time. Now, US Time are the ones that actually started with the Mickey Mouse. So they bought Ingersoll and they started selling the Mickey Mouse watch, and the Mickey Mouse watch.
We do know it's Mickey Mouse, by the way. Just to reiterate.
So it was a hit. I believe it first came out in one of the national exhibitions, and it was sold, and it was a direct hit. And then they were able to continue making money from that. Now, like you mentioned, the US Time then slowly transitioned into Timex, but I'm going to skip that whole story. So it was so important that actually in 1939 at Chicago's World Fair, there was a box that was supposed to be a box that's not to be opened for the next 5,000 years with very important items from that
Time capsule.
and they put the Mickey Mouse watch inside of that. Now, my question to you is, we talk about Mickey Mouse, but there are 10 other characters that US Time are running on this.
More rodents.
Now, I'd like one by one,
more rodents.
we mostly try to guess which are the characters. So we'll start with Elliot, and then we'll go to Jason.
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck's bit on the side.
What did you say?
Daisy Duck.
Daisy Duck, of course.
Then
Pinocchio.
very good.
Bambi.
Very good.
That's the dog. What's he called again?
He's a silly character. He's
Goofy. Oh yeah, Goofy. That's it.
then, of course, one of the small ones.
Yeah, Madro's name.
Is a dwarf, and he looks like Sleepy.
Close. Dopey.
Dopey.
Now we're getting tricky here.
Moby.
Who remembers this character?
I know him, but I don't know.
He's a cricket.
Yeah, Jiminy Cricket.
Joe. Okay.
Now these two, oh god. Who remembers Bongo the Bear?
Bongo the Bear, of course.
Source Pongo the Bear.
Of course, who would ever forget Joe Karaoke, the
Joe-
anthropomorphic
Oh yeah.
parrot? And so
Fabulous. How could I
that
forget?
really is the base history of these watches. And of course, they use the hands and the other hands to indicate the hours and the minutes.
The hands of the hands.
The only other iconic element that came into this was, of course, with Gerald Genter designed watches, where he used them for different activities such as golf or running around. And yeah, so arguably, Mickey Mouse, the famous rodent, is what started it all.
Famous rodent. Okay. So I think another important character that I think you have to talk about is Snoopy.
Snoopy.
So
From Peanuts.
he's not a rodent. So we've got that at least.
Yeah.
He's a poochie. So he's a pooch, right? So Snoopy, designed by Charles Michel's in 1950s when they made the first comic strip. From there, it expanded. They got into loads of merchandise. So of course, eventually, it was going to come to horology. The first collaboration was with Timex, like 1969. They've done a reiteration of this movement, this exact watch. They had the same one with him playing tennis with his hands over the tennis hands.
I like that.
So that was one of the first ones made. You've got Seiko that's gone loads of these models as well. You can see Snoopy there. It uses his ears as a helicopter.
Time has just brought out an anniversary issue of the original Snoopy cartoons, which is really
It has.
and again, Cube very, very reasonably priced.
for the 70th anniversary. I think it was the 70th anniversary. Swatch, of course, very famously. They've done loads of things with Snoopy. You've got Aviate. Aviate. Anyway. That's the Flying Ace. So it's a very popular character design where he's the World War One kind of outfit. You've got Frank Muller, with the Wandering Hours. So Wandering Hours, every hour, instead of clicking to the next one, it just automatically clicks to where 10 is. So the hand just go a bit all over the dial, which is really cool. Bamford have done it. That was a collaboration with Revolution.
I love they do the very, very clean set. I think they do them very well.
I think they're really good.
All the watches that have paid tribute. It's Omega and Bamford that are totally leading the field. I adore. It's not cartoon, but I do adore their bad mother. And I think it was going to have a cartoonesque or fun watch. I think that's one.
I do love the housing for all of these watches from Bamford. When you get it, it comes into the small iconic red.
The little huts.
The Snoopy.
There's a house in the garden.
Snoopy's hut.
But the most important one we know Snoopy in is with Omega and with NASA. So I'll talk quickly about the history of it. So NASA were looking for a mascot for the space agency because they knew it was the U.S. Forest Army or something that it was called Pokey the Bear or something. I can't remember exactly the name, but they wanted their own mascot. Luckily, Charles Schulz was a big supporter of NASA, and so he basically gave free rights to NASA to use their character in all of the uses they wanted to use them, and use them as a mascot for free. So he then designed the famous Snoopy pin that was given as an award, and he designed then Snoopy as an astronaut. A very famous space mission was Apollo 13, and we know 1970. So Apollo 13 had a big issue that one of the oxygen tanks blew up, and that put them way off course. And they had to do a very quick calculation, quite a very, very risky calculation, with a very specified timed burn for 14 seconds precisely to re-enter Earth's orbit. And it's from there that NASA then gave an award to Omega for the recognition of the timepiece, because that was done on Omega.
Interesting.
And I'm going to read it because that's what the quote is. It's the special honor was given to employees and contractors. It was called the Silver Snoopy Award, and it was bestowed upon individuals who have achieved professionalism, dedication, and outstanding support that greatly enhanced space flight safety and mission success. So that's when they would get the Silver Snoopy Award. Omega then, of course, as they love to make limited editions, they started making Snoopy ones. So the first one is the one on the top, which was the Silver Snoopy. This was done in 2003. The case back is a big logo of the award, and you can see Snoopy on the left-hand sundial there in his astronaut suit. This was done in 5,441 pieces specifically, because the Apollo 13 mission was 142 hours, 41 minutes, 54 minutes, and 41 seconds. So it matches with the time. They waited a decade to make another one for some reason. And this is the another limited edition. You've got Snoopy now sleeping on the left-hand subdial. On the inside of the tachometer, you can see what would you do, or what could you do in 14 seconds, which was the 14 seconds time burn that saved all these astronauts.
Very cool.
And this was done in 1970 pieces, because for the mission that was in 1970.
And all in the Speedmaster editions.
And the last one from Omega, as we all know, very famously, that came out last year. Again, you can see him on the left-hand subdial in his national suit, and in the back of the case back, once the chronograph is used, you'll see Snoopy coming out in a little rocket, and it'll come out from the moon, go all the way around, and it's eyes on the star, which I think is wonderful. So I think Omega and Snoopy is clearly a very important collaboration, and you can't forget now recently that Omega and Swatch did a collaboration, and they've done a couple of these moon swatches with Snoopy. So you can see him sleeping on the moon, or he's sleeping on one of the subdials, and they made loads of these versions because they love money. There you go, and I think, interesting.
It's a great homage, and it's a superb watch.
As a cartoon in horology, I think he's one of the most important figures out.
Would you argue he's the most important?
Probably Mickey Mouse, maybe. But Snoopy, I would.
Snoopy's a good.
Maybe he's number one. I'm not sure. Maybe him, or well, you tell us. What do you think? He's not a rodent, but
Is it Mickey Mouse?
The Mickey Mouse
Or
or
Snoopy?
Snoopy?
The market has just exploded, and most watches, most watch companies have got a plethora of not just cartoon, but even just fun ones. Timex had just brought out, I think, a Monopoly watch. So there's so many out there. One of my favourites at the beginning was this, which was the Asterix. So it was Chronofix, and they did an Asterix watch. The original one was superb, and a very small 340. Although you'd be really lucky to get hold of them now. Asterix kicks the number 8, and because and that spins around the dial, which I thought was really, really clever. And the last one is a little safe, and it's got a little safe thing on the side called a Swiss. There's a little nod to the Swiss, but Asterix doesn't really do much. And the price has doubled, strangely, already. So I'm sure the next Asterix watch will be at 1,200. But they were really fun, and I think we've already talked about Bamford. But there is Mickey watch.
I don't think I've seen it. I've never seen it.
And it is a really, really cool. I think they've done real justice to that whole market when they've done a number of them and a number of really good watches. But of course, if your budget was unlimited, then you might be moving to the old Richard Mille automatic tourbillon Smiley. And Smiley face. It's 50 years since the Smiley face was done and designed and registered, and that would be the price of a house. Or one of these, which I think is absolutely one of my favourite because it is so subtle. And there's a Miss Piggy pink watch as well, girls. And what I like is it just has the numbers of the month, and it's only on the 1st that you actually see Kermit's face. So it's incredibly subtle. And for those that don't want a real obvious of a cartoon character on their hand, I think this is a real fun and a real way of bringing it alive.
Brilliant. Popeye next.
And then he is indeed, because that's one of my favourites, Popeye the Sailor Man, which did a great job for selling frozen spinach around the world. But this is the reservoir with a grey DLC coating, and you can see you've got Popeye there striding away, and his arms again, showing the minute. So a wonderful watch there from Reservoir, and a good nod to good old Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yeah, very cool.
It's interesting for the licensing. It feels like every watch brand or a lot of watch brands can get that licensing. It seemed to be
With the collaboration.
before it was reserved to US Timex, and now it seems to have opened up to a large number.
Collaboration, and they're happy to take a good percentage. It's probably that.
But a lot of fun. I think it brings a little bit of fun into this whole very, very too serious sometimes world of horology, and having a little bit of fun. I think is brilliant.
I agree. Lovely. Very nice. Tell us in the comments what your favourite cartoon watch is. If it's Snoopy, if it's your favourite rodent, Mickey Mouse, or if it's Poppy.
Poppy.
Popeye. It's Poppy.
Popeye. Da, 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 da. Actually, there was a serious incident in Disneyland.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
They had a food safety problem, and they had to close down. Yeah.
What does that have to do with Popeye?
They found a mouse that was this big. And on that fabulous Daddy Joke note, remember to like and to
Subscribe.
and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.